our students please be seated? And please, if you would, silence your cell phones. Good afternoon. My name is Richard Simpson. I'm the Vice President of Education, and we are absolutely delighted to welcome you all as we celebrate the accomplishments of our pastry and baking, health supportive culinary arts, culinary and restaurant management, and hospitality and hotel management students. We welcome all of you as we celebrate our students. Our first speaker will be Rick Smilo, the Chairman and Chief Executive of the Institute of Culinary Education. Chairman Smilo.
Well, greetings and good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here with you today, and it's really exciting. This is as you know, our second ceremony of the day, and we always save the best one for the second one. Nothing against the morning students, but in terms of talent, success, potential, I know you all are the best. Oh, was that recorded? So I have been the leader and CEO of ICE for 28 years. Started when I was 15. Back in 1995, when we were in a walk-up building on East 92nd Street, I couldn't predict the school would grow to be the prominent institution it is today. I didn't know we would have a restaurant management and plant-based program, a school location in Lower Manhattan versus East 92nd Street, where we began, a campus in Los Angeles, and most recently, a fully online program. But most importantly, I didn't know how satisfying it would make me feel to know that our team's investment of time, sweat, and resources would help now thousands of people just like you, to launch their careers. So to be addressing you today is personally very rewarding. To begin with, there are some thank yous I'd like to extend. First, the parents and loved ones. You encouraged our students, you may have helped pay for their education, and you may have tasted their homework, and hopefully it was tastier as the lessons progressed. How about a round of applause for the parents and loved ones? Second, I'd like to thank the ICE staff that works hard and with purpose and dedication. It's a broad group. First that comes to mind are the chef instructors, but there are also dozens and dozens of people in roles like registrar, job placement, financial aid, student affairs, admissions, food purchasing, facilities, maintenance, and more that make it possible for our diploma programs to run. And thank you to the people who planned this commencements ceremony. A special call out to first names only, Lisa, Kristen, Diana, Elizabeth, Martha, Amanda, Janessa, Maribel, Elliot, Robin, Jason, Anna, Abby, Anthony, Kathy, Corey, and Jalissa. And in advance, I'd like to thank our guest speakers. That is Orlando Soto, Executive Pastry Chef of Le Bernardin, as the alumni speaker. And the esteemed chef, author, and restaurateur, Marcus Samuelson, as our keynote speaker. So you may be wondering, who are we recognizing and celebrating today? And this is mainly for the benefit of families and friends who are listening. So our commencement today is designed for graduates of the last 12 months whose program and diploma was either in culinary arts, and those students were in the morning, or pastry and baking, restaurant and culinary management, hotel and hospitality management, and plant-based culinary arts. But beyond programs, let me paint a picture of our 2023 graduating class. You are diverse, not just culturally, but in age, nationality, gender identity, and even your future goals. For example, graduates include, and if you're here, raise your hand, Susan Froman. Susan, are you here? Well, Susan was a teacher for 21 years. She took our pastry and baking arts program and is now a pastry chef at Mother's Bistro in Portland, Oregon. Maybe she's in Portland, Oregon right now. This morning, there was Burhan Halivov, who came to ICE after 15 years as a storage engineer. He was hired as a line cook from his externship at the Modern. How about Kiran Narayanan? Are you here? Well, he's a serial entrepreneur and tech consultant who took ICE's Health Supportive Culinary Arts program and is planning to develop a food and beverage brand and open a plant-forward restaurant in Bangalore, India. Maybe he's there. That would be a reasonably good, explanation for not coming to his commencement. It's certainly not because of the weather, So I would be remiss if I didn't give you some perspective and some advice. So some perspective is, after many years and thousands of graduates, I know that our alumni will define success in many ways. As you know, our school motto is "Find your culinary voice." When that was first presented to us by a marketing agency in around 2009, I thought it was a corny line. I didn't like it so much. But soon after, I realized that it fits so well, and it's in fact what we try so hard to achieve. Here are some examples of the different voices and culinary paths that people follow. For Mashama Bailey, who graduated from ICE in 2001, it was to be a chef entrepreneur. And she has done very well. She is the executive chef and partner of The Gray in Savannah, Georgia, and now has a branch in Austin, Texas. Last year, in 2022, she won the James Beard Foundation Award for Outstanding Chef in America. That is the highest singular honor for a chef in the country. By contrast, for ICE alumni Maria Rodriguez, who I met at an alumni party 10 or 12 years ago, it's keeping her daytime administrative job in a New Jersey medical center, but working on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday nights as the pastry chef in a suburban New Jersey restaurant. That was her goal, to keep her day job and to be a part-time pastry chef. For Andrew Riggi, culinary school at ICE led to civic engagement and what I would call culinary politics. He's the founding director of the New York City Hospitality Alliance, which particularly during the pandemic was the voice of New York City's restaurant community, working with city, state, and national leaders. So success can be defined in many ways, and one's culinary voice can be defined in many ways. We are looking forward to you finding yours and know you're on the path. And by the way, as your voice and choices develop, let ICE's alumni office know what you are doing. And a particular call out to the male alumni on that. We know from past experience that men are terrible about keeping in touch with their alumni offices. Let's change that pattern. Now for 4 areas of advice. When you watch the Emmys, Grammys, or James Beard Awards, or the end of a Super Bowl or World Series, there is one word you always hear, and I don't mean Disney. The word you hear is teamwork. The performers, stars, and notables you hear talking about teamwork aren't just being nice, they are being honest. Little gets accomplished without teamwork. So what makes a good team player? It is someone who is always reliable, adapts quickly and easily, displays genuine commitment, does more than is asked, communicates honestly, clearly, and respectfully. With great teamwork, a workplace, be it a hotel, pastry shop, restaurant, or catering business, is more satisfying. The results will be better, and new ideas are more apt to develop. Today, one of your jobs is to be a great teammate, but in years to come, we hope and expect that part of your role will be to guide a great team. Keep in mind, all the enterprises where you work need not just staff, they need managers and leaders. Whatever culinary or hospitality ladder you are hoping to climb, you can climb that ladder faster today than at any time in recent decades, but you can only climb with teamwork. Second area of advice. While earlier I was speaking about your diversity, there is one thing I know you have in common. That is, you are only 1 to 11 months into your careers after culinary school. In fact, I understand that some of you, your final exam is tomorrow, right? Is that correct? Well, yeah. So in the scheme of things, that's not very long. And most or perhaps all of you are in jobs where there are many techniques, skills, and practices to master. So the simple advice is be patient. Focus on mastering skills so that you can move on to other skills. Focus on mastering skills so that you can teach those skills to others. So here are some quips and quotes on the subject from chefs you may or may not have heard of. Alex Atala, who is perhaps the best-known living chef in South America, wrote, quote, "The difference between what is good, very good, and exceptional can be found in repetition. A chef must master the basics before he or she can create something exceptional. And the only way to master something is to repeat the process many times, honing your skills and making slight changes to your methods until you have reached your own version of perfection." Another quote comes from, unfortunately, the late chef Colin Aleveris, an ICE alumni. Many years ago, I heard him address some ICE students, and he made the comment that repetition is only boring if you don't realize you're learning something. Repetition is only boring if you don't realize you're learning something. Chef Eva de Gil, a chef in Barcelona, and someone you may have seen on Top Chef Spain, if you watch Top Chef Spain, was quoted as saying, "My advice is to be more patient and take things step by step instead of trying to do everything at once and be overwhelmed. Practice setting a goal, creating an action plan, short-term and long-term." Another quote, a bit more tongue-in-cheek than the others, is from Chef Daniel Boulud, who said, "Remember, it's never the knives' fault." The last part about patience is that it's easier and more effective to be patient when you don't spend too much time comparing yourself to other people. A great bit of guidance for everyone that I heard Chef Jeffrey Zakarian tell our students on campus is, quote, "Don't spend time and energy comparing yourself to others. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday." The two other areas of advice. Allow yourself to focus on your dreams. While being patient, do take the time to dream big. It may not be something you do every day, but think about it enough to inspire you. What does that mean? Well, one thing could be to take intentional and deliberate actions. Could be with your hands, your heart, or your brain. Develop and plan steps, baby steps or big steps, that help you move forward with your goals. Much of that can be done on the job, taking the time to learn new things that are beyond your current responsibilities that will help prepare you for bigger roles. My own children are the same age as many of you, and in recent years I've been giving them what I would like to call good adult advice. You can ask them whether it actually is, but I try. One idea I came up with has to do with the old adage of having a plan A, plan B, plan C. You've all heard of that, right? I have said to them, why not have 3 plan A's and then a plan B and a plan C? Plan A is the one you will work hardest on and think the most about. If you have multiple plan A's, the odds of one of them coming to fruition are higher, and then you never have to settle for plan B or C. And the last bit of advice, use your influence. What do I mean by influence? These days, one thinks of social media influence. Today, you may have 50 followers, you may have 5,000, and in the future, you may or may not ever be considered a social media influencer. But wait, you went to culinary school. You are graduating from the Institute of Culinary Education. That means when it comes to food, taste, diet, and restaurants, you have more knowledge and influence than most of the people you know, and no doubt that influence will grow. There are many ways you can use that influence, and I'm going to go through a broad, short laundry list, and I'm not sure how you could do all this, but think about it. First of all, there's America's public health. Americans don't eat enough fiber. Americans eat too many calories and of fat and too much processed food. American children eat too much sugar. Maybe in some way, small or large, you can have influence on that. Then there's sustainability. You can choose to serve the fish that are plentiful and not the ones that are endangered. There's farms. It's very difficult to be a small farmer in America compared to the large industrial farms. You can choose to buy from small farms. And then there's world peace. Think of all the people in groups and neighbors who are fighting each other in other parts of the world. You know one thing that they have in common? More times than not, they like to eat the same foods. So maybe eating in food can be a basis for peace. Now, I've set some lofty goals for you, and I'm not sure how you're going to do it. But as a nice graduate, maybe you can. Use your influence. As I end this talk, I want to acknowledge our keynote speaker, Chef Marcus Samuelsson. I have known him and considered him a friend for a long time. In fact, our entry into the culinary world in New York City was around the same time. For Marcus, it was 1994, and for me, 1995. And you'll hear more about that from Marcus shortly. Marcus's list of accomplishments is a long one. But a point that I know that is not in the bio is just how respected and admired he is by chefs, cooks, and his peers around the world. I know that when people ask him for advice, help, or guidance, his first inclination is to say yes. In fact, that is why he is here today. So in closing, I want to congratulate you all for graduating from the Institute of Culinary Education. I wish you good fortune, good luck, good health, good cooking, baking, and managing. Enjoy the journey you have begun and find your culinary voice. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Smilo. Our next guest is our alumnus speaker. I'm pleased to introduce Chef Orlando Soto, Executive Pastry Chef at Le Bernardin. Le Bernardin is located on the Midtown Manhattan and is a 3 Michelin star seafood restaurant. After graduating from the University of Puerto Rico with an engineering degree, Chef Soto decided to fully pursue his passion for pastry, moving to New York to enroll at the Institute of Culinary Education. He has since honed his expertise in Michelin-starred kitchens such as Daniel, Café Boulud, Per Se, and Gunter Seeger. In the kitchen, he combines his pastry knowledge with his engineering background, respecting classical techniques while employing new methods to create whimsical desserts. Chef Soto.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. And congratulations to the class that stands before me. Thank you for having me here. I'm honored to speak before you, faculty and staff members that make this place run every day. And of course, thank you to your families and chosen families that have supported you along this journey. We are all here to celebrate you and your continued success as you begin your career beyond the walls of the Institute of Culinary Education. In the last couple of months, you started to learn the skills and techniques that turned a few ingredients into delicious, beautiful creations. You worked hard. Burns, bruises, cuts, and impending deadlines did not stop you from getting here on this day. And you're here now, and this means you succeeded in the first chapter of a journey that will enrich you as much as it does others. And I mention others because it is a big part of our line of work, to serve, to bring joy, to harness the real potential of ingredients, and inspire others to do the same. That is our magic. Today, very much like your first day here, the expectation is that you're moving on to the sweet life in the kitchen. Easy, right? No, we know better. We know that there are days where things can get dark, not because of the work itself, but because that is life. So when that happens, remember today, remember your first day here, remember your dream, and move forward with a sense of purpose. Remember to have fun. Also remember, it took time for you to get here. It took practice and repetition. It will take time to figure out what means the most to you. Just as importantly, it will take time to identify the things that you do not like. This is a part of the process. Be patient with yourself. Out there, every opportunity is like walking into a new classroom, each with its own set of rules, but all towards the same goal: to serve, to nourish, to remind others of the singular gift that makes us human, our ability to connect through food. That is our power. Tomorrow, as you step into your career, remember that being here, making it this far, means you survived and thrived through a pandemic. It also means that you have witnessed and in cases been part of much needed social change that extends beyond the kitchens. You are an agent of change. You are and always have been more than just a cook. Remember that while your recipes and methods anticipate the taste and feel of something that's before you, the end result is always greater than the sum of its parts. But its purpose ultimately is an expression of love. It's an expression of what we love to do and those we love to do it for. So as you move forward, keep this in mind, especially when you feel like the odds are against you or that things are just falling apart. Remember to keep your head up, remember your power, and turn that feeling into art. Congratulations, class of 2023.
Thank you, Chef Soto. Next, I want to introduce our keynote speaker, Chef Marcus Samuelsson. Marcus Samuelsson is the renowned chef behind many restaurants worldwide, including Red Rooster Harlem, Red Rooster Overton Miami, Marcus Montreal, Marcus R&P in Newark, New Jersey, Sweet Bird at Yankee Stadium, Marcus at Baja Mar Fish and Chop House in the Bahamas, Hav and Mar in Chelsea, New York City, and the recently opened Marcus Bar and Grill in Atlanta. Chef Samuelsson was the youngest person to receive a 3-star review from the New York Times and was the guest chef for the Obama administration's first state dinner. He has won 8 James Beard Foundation awards as chef, author, and TV personality, most recently for his work as head judge on Top Chef Family Style and host of On the Rise. Chef Samuelsson also hosts and produces A Seat at the Table on Audible and co-hosts the This Moment podcast with Swedish rapper Timbuktu on Acast. A committed philanthropist, Chef Samuelsson is co-chair of the Careers Through Culinary Arts program, CCAP, which focuses on helping underserved youth. Chef Samuelsson also co-produces the annual Harlem Eat Up Festival, which celebrates the food, art, and culture of Harlem. He is the author of several cookbooks, the New York Times bestselling memoir, Yes, Chef, a memoir, and his latest book, The Rise, Black Cooks and the Soul of American Food. I'm honored to welcome Chef Samuelsson.
Congratulations, class of 2023, graduates. Today is a celebration, but it's also really the start of a new beginning. That's what's so amazing about this day. It started probably years ago for you when you were thinking about, should you do this? Should you go into this field, and hearing all the pros and cons? And now you're here through all the hard work, support of your loved ones, but you, end of the day, are the people, are the students that made it happen. So truly, truly, congratulations. It's also a day that I remember when I graduated, the excitement, but also how different our industry looked. So when I look at this room and I see the diversity, the spiritual diversity, the global impact, the new fields, maybe in 10 years, actually the plant-based is 90% and the room looks very, very different, right? And I just love how you guys see new opportunities, and it's going to be needed to have new resolutions for dealing with a new set of challenges. As a chef, I've been around that several different times, whether it was, just a couple of blocks away from here 20 years ago, 9/11, that really, this horrific event truly transformed what happened to hospitality. There was no one talking about restaurants after that for a very, very long time, but we had to work through it. And the pandemic, more recently, what's going to come out of it? We kind of sort of now all have to deal with it, and what are the needs and what's the position of food and hospitality? I remember in the early days of the pandemic, we closed Red Rooster, and it became essentially a charitable kitchen where we served 300 people a day together with the works of World Central Kitchen, 800 people, 1,000 people, eventually 1,500 people a day. And I never knew that the pandemic would actually turn out to be the most important work that our loved Red Rooster team has ever done. So in the worst of situation, sometimes something positive can actually come out of that. And I think everybody can reflect back on the pandemic of something really dreadful happened, but guess what? You all worked through it, and you're here. I'm going to take you back a little bit, tell you a little bit about my journey, and then come back to some of my advice. I was born in a hut in Ethiopia, in Addis, outside Addis, the capital, in a hut that is basically the size of 2 four-tops in my restaurant. And I, pre-pandemic, went back to that hut, that place, every year with my family to draw the sense of strength. And I always think, and I tell my son, and he's tired of me he's tired of me telling him, but I said, if you can come from a hut and run a hospitality company in New York City, anything is possible. And I truly mean that. Everyone come from a meaningful place, every single one of you here, and you worked really, really hard, and your family worked really, really hard. And for me, it was really, when I came to America with my big fortune of $300, I came because I knew I could add value in any kitchen surroundings. Because I've done it before, whether that was in Japan, Switzerland, France, in a 3-star Michelin restaurant in France, in Switzerland, and I learned many things. I learned, for example, being yelled at sounds about the same in every language, but if you're gonna get yelled by somebody, it's actually better to get yelled by a 3-star Michelin guy than not. So we share that, chef. But I also learned a lot about seasonality, also about culture. That's something like it's weird in one culture, it's absolutely normal in another place. In Japan, I learned about 5th element of taste, like umami. That was game-changing for me. That was a flavor that I didn't know anything about, and I had to go all the way to Japan to figure it out. You guys are lucky. Because of YouTube and because of all these different platforms, you can travel and explore and experience in a much faster way. But culture, food, purpose, curiosity, all of those things are things that you have in front of you, and you have to explore and celebrate. And I don't know what you guys will come up with. Each one has their own goal. Each one has their own vision. But I know it will be, especially on this side, super delicious and sweet, right? So, to my advice, no one ever did anything alone. So look for mentors outside your family and within your family. Look for communities that understand you, but hopefully don't look like you and have different experiences. So you can really share and learn at the same time. I had amazing mentors, otherwise I wouldn't be here. And I'm going to mention 3. When I came to this country in the mid-90s, Miss Leah Chase, and for those of you who don't know her, please look her up. Leah Chase passed away 3 years ago, 95 years young. Dookie Chase, still 80 years later, is a fabulous restaurant in New Orleans. And Miss Leah started her business in the 40s as a young black woman. She actually broke the law because it was illegal to serve a room like this. She didn't care. She served everybody anyway and ran the business at that point illegally, but of course, she didn't do anything illegal. She just wanted to cook and serve people. And sometimes it takes somebody actually, and I'm not suggesting you should go out and break the law, but you have to think different, because if the purpose of your mission is bigger than what the world is ready for, go ahead and do it anyway. The second mentor for me that helped me out was somebody that really also truly changed food in America, Mr. Charlie Trotter. He had a fabulous, incredible restaurant in Chicago, and because of Chef Trotter, it's one of the reasons why you can eat incredible food in places like Milwaukee or anywhere in the Midwest, because the stem of great chefs that came out of the Midwest, almost every single one started at Charlie Trotter's. Chef Trotter was super busy, but he spent every month a couple of hours with me and invited me into major events. And I had the chance to work side by side with chefs like Daniel Boulou, Ferran Adrià, Eric Ripert, and Nobu. And I was so excited to be in the room, and I learned a lot. Although I was just in the back, and I learned and I saw, but that really inspired me and be ready for the next opportunity and challenge. And my last one is Chef Daniel Boulou. I still to this day call for advice. So even somebody that worked as long as I have, the search for mentors is never ending. And I also have a young mentor that helps me figuring out technology, what you guys like, what I don't understand, why I don't understand it, why I should be on Instagram and maybe not on, let's say, thank you for that already. No, so the challenges obviously continue to grow. And if you feed your curiosity and really think through your purpose, your why, and hold on to that, your why can be very different than your why, but they can both be important. And sometimes, hopefully, you can collaborate. The best people in our industries, the Danny Meyers of the world, and so on, they're all great collaborators. So today is a big day. You're going to celebrate with your family. But promise me this. I know you will work hard. You owe that to yourself and your family. Continue to be curious. Ask questions. Continue as you work. Continue to be curious about the field and about others. Is there a better way to actually do this? What are the customers telling you? What is the workplace telling you? What are they asking for? Continue to be collaborative. As I build and I add more things to our plate, I cannot do it without being a good collaborator. When we started Havmar, which is just 10, 15 blocks away from me on the west side, I really started thinking about what haven't we done enough in our industry, and how can I be an ally and really think different. At Red Rooster, we started a restaurant to really enhance and strategically put in places for people of color's leadership position in the industry. We strategically, purposefully built open kitchens so both the customers and the chefs could see each other, who was doing the work, who was coming to eat, and really create that connectivity. At Havmar, I felt that we really come short in leadership for women. Not that women didn't show up, but actually we as leaders have not created the right and enough opportunities. So Havmar, I'm proud to say, is run by all women of color, of all positions. And thank you. And it's more delicious than ever. Those are some of my why and some of the questions that I ask myself. you go back and ask yourself, are your whys? They're all different. They're all unique, and they're not wrong. Even if some people in your community might not understand them right now, hold on to your vision, work on your mission, dream even higher than you think is possible, and I know you can make it because you've gone through a great school, you have some great friends and collaborators, and you can also go back to this amazing panel for always to ask for advice. So with that, keep asking interesting, plant-based, forward questions on this side, collaborate with this sweet, delicious bunch, and I know the solution for tomorrow's food will only be more forward-thinking and more delicious than ever. Congratulations, class of 23. And now, the real reason why I'm here, I want to take a selfie with all of you guys.
Thank you, Chef Samuelson. A very difficult act to follow, even if I do have diplomas. And now it's time to recognize our students and present their diplomas. Our guests, please remain seated while the diplomas are conferred. We're taking photographs that will be available to everybody after the ceremony. Our first class, we ask that the pastry and baking students will now receive their diplomas. Diplomas will be presented by Chef Jürgen David, Director of Pastry Research and Development. Mariette Arroyo Soltero. Frank R. Alfano. Roxanne Mandia. Dilara Duarte Correa. Kayla Wong. Christian M. Ortega. Giselle Jara Jimenez. Alexis M. Kiley. Brianna S. Helms. Jonathan W. Sauer, graduated of Pastry and Baking and Restaurant and Culinary Management. Kennedy M. Mueller. Petra R. Brock. Fadia Abu Taleb, graduate of Pastry and Baking and Restaurant and Culinary Management. Emma M. Gonzalez. Zehava Galisko. Vince Gerald Bersamin, graduate of Pastry and Baking and Restaurant and Culinary Management. Sebastian Silvestri. Kayla Bodden. Angelis Seda Perez. Daniel DeLintz. Victoria Liang. Helena Vlasto. Chan Wang. Vanalee Tai. Angela Sosa. Erin L. Forden. Joshing Wen. Susan Ramirez. Yalitza Infante Ventura. Cecilia F. Rodriguez. Shoniel O. Sullivan. Jimena Sada Zambrano. Joy Salvador. Alianda Pierre-Louis. Nathalie V. Rossi. Gunel Hassanova. Isabella Soto. Sashay Singleton. Sophia Williams. Teresa Indriolo. Chloe Basile. Connie Lee. Rebecca Moody. Hassan Shafiqullah. Xavier Odom. Thank you. Aisha A. Jones. Chloe Fulton. Shante K. Brooms. Molly A. Lanou. Roberto Lopez Jr. Meg Kudilla, graduate of Pastry and Baking and Restaurant and Culinary Management. Emily M. Chavez, graduate of Pastry and Baking and Restaurant and Culinary Management. Amy German. Catherine Locker. Vanessa Molina. Rachel Densing. Juliet Shelley, graduate of Pastry and Baking and Restaurant and Culinary Management. Susanna Krapf, graduate of Pastry and Baking and Restaurant and Culinary Management. Varsha Narasimhan. Shakira Palacios, graduate of Pastry and Baking and Culinary and Restaurant Management. Alexander Tribeca, graduate of Pastry and Baking and Restaurant and Culinary Management. Julissa M. Marcano. Alexandria E. Atkins. Gamucharai M. Monuro. Chanel Curlew. Claudia E. Palazzo. Delisa Moreno. May Jin. Liliana Villanueva. Lily Annabelle Kaleakov. Sherry Elam. Dorismar Aquino. Amanda Machado. Parathi Valabanahi. Ivy Wang. Giselle Thiroux. Abigail G. Hulse. Hannah Laura Nalbandian. Mariana Serrano Ariola. Melanie Arboleda. Christine Febres. Emily E. Brookings, graduate of Pastry and Baking and Restaurant and Culinary Management. Morena M. Ali. Perla Velasquez Contreras. Catherine D. Grady. Che-Wan Lim. Christopher Calypso. Janice R. Weiss. A round of applause for our pastry and baking graduates. We will now graduate our health supportive culinary arts students. Diplomas will be conferred by Chef Scott Larson, the lead instructor. Zoe A. Jocelyn. Annabelle C. Pitcher, graduated of Health Supportive Culinary Arts and Restaurant and Culinary Management. Ra Rivas McCrae, graduate of Health Supportive Culinary Arts and Restaurant and Culinary Management. Kali Azate. Savannah L. Moody. Jacinth Bonilla. Maria Paz Moreno. Avery P. Mill. Maria Camilla Boritica, graduate of Health Supportive Culinary Arts and Restaurant and Culinary Management. Claire Rock. Anthony Morfa. Dalen Heredia. Kelly M. Foster. Zalika Speed. Emily E. Motor. Shauna Liebman. Eliana Grubel. Ronit Suzanne. Jillian Simpler. Stephanie Catherine Milanowski. Maya E. Greenfield. Sophie E. Kleinhandler. Regina Ochoa. Sydney E. Cassane. Helen Greenberg. Beth Tierney. Nicole Rose Ganji. Megan Trott. Rita Scarborough. Victoria Kaputskaya. Raquel Furtado de Menendez. Skylar Dale. Anthony Tricarico. Caroline Eisen. Marcena Papiertz. Carol Torres. Rihanna E. Kukin, graduate of Pastry and Baking and Restaurant and Culinary Arts. Isabella Angeletti. Corey Fletcher. Josa Tirado. Zari B. Ginsberg. Avni Junjunwala. Chetna Shah. Helena Vlasto, graduate of Health Supportive Culinary Arts and Pastry and Baking. Lucian Neri. A round of applause for our health supportive culinary arts students. We will now graduate our restaurant and culinary management students. Diplomas will be distributed by Dean of Restaurant and Hospitality Management, Mr. Brian Konopka. Ahmad Zayad Jaber. Carla L. Ferreira Reina, dual diploma in culinary arts and restaurant and culinary management. Hannah C. Esparza. Emilia Sanchez Gonzalez. Bhumi Chandak. Sarah K. Barry. A round of applause for our restaurant and culinary management graduates. Next, we will graduate our hospitality and hotel management students. Diplomas will again be distributed by Mr. Brian Konopka. Ariel Pfeiffer. Mackenzie M. Simons. Katerina Stefanovic. Shanae Sampson. Sheila Sotuda. Maka Matiashvili. Ivan Alejandro. Power. Leslie. Amanpreet Kaur. Chelsea M. Peralta. A round of applause for our hospitality and hotel management students. And now a graduate from our culinary arts program. Corey Sal. Corey Sale. And that brings to a close the distribution of diplomas. But it does not end our relationship with you. Somebody was really aggrieved. We hope to be a part of your future, helping with employment, delighting in your success. We can't wait to feature you in our newsletter, to boast about you on social media, and perhaps one day to welcome you to our faculty. May each day bring you the special joy that comes from making your passion your vocation. We wish you great success in all that you do and a sure knowledge that ICE is always here for you. Now, when I count three, toss your toques. When I count three, though, we want to get everybody in position to get the picture. And one last request, will our guests please remain in their seats until our graduates have processed out of the auditorium. On three, you guys are going to toss them.
And scream.
1, 2, 3.
Congratulations, everybody.